1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Two award ceremonies in a year and not a single win. Starting to see how Kate Winslet feels. I'm not doing a podcast about the Holocaust. I draw the line there. Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bagara War, the unofficial podcast all about League Two leaders and FA Cup second rounders. Stockport County. Yes, with me, Nick Lee, and him over there joining us, because we're a family, a big happy family. It's Russ Johnson. Hello, Russ. You all right, mate?
Hello, mate. You okay?
Yeah, get the moustache talk out the way.
Yeah, you doing Movember?
No.
Oh, are you going for a part?
My electric razor died, like officially died, like it was declared dead.
Okay.
So instead of like getting a nice expensive new one, I thought, well, Christmas is around the corner. Like a wife or girlfriend, a wife, someone who loves me will buy me one. Someone will. And yeah, my mum, that's the word. That's the word I was looking for. Didn't want to sound pathetic, Waggy, but thanks. 2 minutes in and Nick already sounds pathetic. I went and got one from B&M, like an electric razor. Doesn't do the job I want it to do. So it was either keep this bit or just lose everything. I can't have a bald face. If you want, I can just get it out. Just do this bit now. If you want.
I don't know what to say. You've actually got it in your hand as well, haven't you?
Keep it, Nick.
I've got my shirt on. I've had this on since Monday because I thought I'd be going to the awards Monday night, and then I was ill. So I've.
You're not showered?
I don't shower. No. Once a year, mate. Christmas Eve, shower day. Are you mad?
Do you not do it for your birthday?
Don't do birthdays, mate. No. Don't know when my birthday is. Ain't got a clue. People just turn up with a cake one day and tell me that was it. What's coming up tonight, Russell?
Starting to see one single. We have got.
I mean, you say that like it's meant to offend me. I know I'm single. Fine.
No, we've got. We've got Hannah with us and we've got Waggy with us, so that's a good start. That's a perfect start. Cheers for joining.
Two good podcasters.
Thank you.
Finally, two good podcasters on here.
Yeah,
but also not award winning, so we fit right.
None of us are award winning.
No, none of us are award winning. We just go to awards. It's just
this is basically the best of the rest, isn't it?
We just go to award ceremonies and watch other people win awards. That's all we do. That's all we've ever done.
I was food. All right.
Food was good. Yeah,
good.
Very nice. Yeah.
Would you tell what the meat was? Because last year you couldn't. It was either like really bad beef or really good lamb last year.
No, it was beef actually, not lamb. It was beef, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Point proven.
Yeah, point proven. Yeah. So tonight we're going to talk about the 5-1 win against Worksop in a bit. We're going to look ahead to Swindon on Saturday. We've got Rich from the Loathed Strangers podcast waiting in the wings. We're going to get him out in a second. The youth team are playing in the FA Cup right now against Farsley, and we're currently 2-0 up, so we'll keep our eye on that.
Well, we were going to have periodical updates from Isaiah Kite, but there's industrial in action at Isaiah Kite HQ. Turns out you can't have that many people working in such close proximity, and they've shut HQ down. So no updates. So we're gonna have to rely on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get updates from people probably, won't we?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Actual people.
Yeah. People
who aren't figments of my imagination.
Yeah. And then we'll just talk about anything else we can think of about County that's happened this week. But without further ado, shall we get Rich out from the Loathed Strangers podcast? I can just find the button. Hello, Rich.
Hello. Yeah, that was an extraordinary opening You're never quite sure.
What on the reviews then?
Well, the reviews are in. That was extraordinary. 4 stars. No, you're never quite sure when you go on to opposition podcasts and so forth what the vibe is. I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm having a great time. So thank you very much.
Drunks at a wedding. Fantastic mustache as well. Good to have two great mustaches on the show. Fair enough.
Thank you very much.
I'll kick off the questioning of the Swindon fan if you don't mind, folks.
Yeah.
Is it cost
Rich, what the frig is going on?
At which angle do you want to talk about? Like,
you've got about 15 minutes, mate. Just crack on.
Oh gosh, well,
Tell us everything.
It starts in about 1879, I think. No, and then some of us buy into it and we stick around. No, it's been quite something. Even in Swindon, well, it's weird because I think we're still at the very early stages of standard Swindon Town crazy, but since the last month or two, it's just been all falling apart for Swindon, both on the pitch and off the pitch, it would appear. Which bits do you want to go down first? I suppose.
What do we think?
Bounce now, or 12 including cups, and now you're coming to Swindon, who haven't won in 4, haven't got a point or win in 4. Am I still here?
Yeah,
you're breaking up slightly. Well, let's start with. I'll tell you what.
So,
yeah, I don't know if you can hear us.
Almost indicative of the malaise surrounding Swindon at the moment, really.
I can hear.
Okay, so I tell you what. Let's start on last Saturday then. I think we were all shocked to see that you were 7-0 down. I felt sorry for you in particular, having read the Scarf My Father Wore article that you did. That it was your lad's first game, was it not?
Yeah, it was my little boy's first ever Swindon Town game. And luckily it's one that I'll never forget, so I'll be able to talk about it with him in many years to come, so it's like, I think one of my pals says, well, he's lucky because mine was a 0-0 draw against Blackpool, so at least I'll be able to say it was an 11-goaler. I won't say thriller because it absolutely wasn't. It was a sensational attacking display by Aldershot, one that I don't think I'll ever see again. We've been saying all season, even when things were going well, that this team were cruising for a bruising in terms of getting absolutely tonked. We just play. Originally, we were playing like a high tempo, attacking prowess, but at the back, we were just open. If a team just countered, we would concede goals, and we were getting away with it. Or they just weren't doing what everyone else could see. And when we said we were going to get a tonking, we didn't expect it to be from a National League side, but they were brilliant, like really, really, really great. And when you see the guy who scored a hat-trick has only scored about 3 or 4 goals this season, and he looked invincible. To go 1-0 down after 30 seconds, to go 3-0 down after 9 minutes, in which 2 of those minutes involved an injury. So there was a delay of 2 minutes during those 9 minutes, and then to be 7-0 down after less than an hour was it was fun. And then they just down tools Aldershot. They took all their best players off, and Swindon decided to score some goals. I really enjoyed the Aldershot commentator saying that Swindon were back in the game at 7-1, and they put I was not quite sure he's got his words right there, but quite. Stockport this weekend.
Did you stay till the end, Rich?
Oh yes, I stayed until the end. My daughter didn't want to stay to the end, which made me proud because I think now she's proper Swin. So I was having none of it at 7. That was her threshold. But my wife, who's a Bristol City fan, so I brought my wife and my 2 kids. Slightly cheaper ticket, having a great time. I think it was the treat of the season. She really did enjoy watching Swindon concede 7. There's a mild rivalry, but yeah, it was crazy. It really was.
So has this been coming then? This because you said for 4 matches, or you've not won in 4, or you've not won in 4, and you sort of expected someone to come and pump you. Has this been expected before that? Because you had a really good start to the season, didn't you?
Yeah, we were the entertainers in the opening stages of the season, where we were scoring loads of goals, but we were conceding a fair few too. But if the season was going to be score 6 and concede 3, then that's fine. Let the entertainment, let the good times roll. But slowly but surely, no matter what the club say, we got tired and we slowed down, and we don't have many plans beyond the way we're set up. It was what was the big issue against Colchester. We just ran out of puff. We ran out of ideas, and that's what's been happening over the last few weeks. We've got 12 players that we use, and they're getting injured and suspended, and the ones that are coming in aren't good enough, and we look completely void. Nobody's really blaming the players. Nobody is really blaming the manager, although I think his demeanor impresses a bit when he says nobody is hurting more than him, including the fans and things like that. It's, those sort of, it might be true, but don't say it. Don't say it. But like, we have not got a squad capable January, and all the noise is that we're not going to make any signings.
Do you think it seems like this week the kind of tide has turned a little bit against Michael Flynn? Like, what the timing of the contract renewal doesn't fully make sense, but maybe does in the bigger picture. How long do you think he gets?
Well, he's got a contract until 2026, and under the current ownership, he's absolutely not getting paid off. So he's here for the foreseeable, 100%. And I think he's not in danger, even with the fan base, particularly. I think most that it's beyond him. He needs more players. He needs more options, and he's not a huge fan of some of the players he's playing in week. I think the contract renewal was very interesting. I think it's either that teams like Bradford were interested at some point in the last few weeks, and they've sort of because there are rumors of a takeover, so they might be locking him down in a 3-year deal. So if a new owner comes in, they're going to have to pay out if they want a new person in charge. So it's going to be one of those two.
Or conversely, if
they thought that there would be interest, and we've allowed managers under the Clem Morfuni era to leave very easily with compensation previously. Maybe they want a little bit more. Maybe they generally want Michael Flynn to do well. We do need stability, without a doubt. But if the owner is leaving in the next few months and they are on good terms, then maybe it is a bit of protectionism for all concerned. But it was an odd time to announce it. I mean, they could have signed it and just announced it a few months or a few weeks later. To announce it during this run, and everything has gone wrong ever since, was a very odd decision.
Given the lack of investment in the transfer window, how worried are you about the risk of Jake Young and Dan Kemp going back to their respective clubs?
Yeah. I think they're both gone as things stand. I think Dan Kemp, not necessarily to play for MK Dons, but I think they'll sell him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Swindon had an option, but we can't afford Dan Kemp at the moment. We simply can't. So I imagine he'll get recalled to play in the FA Cup, which and they've changed managers to. So I imagine it'll be similar to the Owen Doyle situation, where they'll call him back at the start of January, have a look at him, and either keep him or send him back to Swindon. second half of the season loans.
Rich, you're breaking up quite a bit. So what I'll do is ask you a couple more questions, then let you go. I don't know if you've got like a black spot in Swindon down there. It's all right. So obviously up next it's Stockport County. How is everybody feeling about that prospect? Because obviously we're on a really good run. We've got lots of investment. I did see one tweet today that said from one of your fans, just give them the 3-0 win now so we don't have to play it and we'll move on to the next one.
Oh, we've been there. Oh.
Sorry about the connection. I don't know what's going on, but football's a daft little sport, isn't it? You know, you look at the run in. There can only be one winner on paper. There can only be one winner in squad depth, and it's Stockport County. But we're going to turn up and see what happens. You know, crazier things have happened, but yeah, I don't have any expectations going into this game as far as Swindon's concerned. And that's not because I'm down on Swindon. Sometimes you're just going to play teams that are better than you. And Stockport are one of those teams that I would have identified at the start of the season going, well, that's going to be a tough one. And you've got us at a great time. You're flying. I'm sad Barry's not going to be around, but I mean, you made 10 changes last weekend, something like that.
Yeah.
If we did that, we'd be playing 16-year-olds, and that isn't even an exaggeration. The fact that you've given a whole team a day off is the luxury that we can do, and if that sort of does what it should do, revitalizes and rejuvenates.
Yeah. Okay, Rich, we're going to leave it there because your internet is really playing up. If you can hear me, cheers for coming on. And I'll message you privately, just say thanks as well. Good luck after Saturday. And yeah, cheers for coming on, mate.
That was like a report from Gaza, wasn't it? That.
Yeah, it's a shame that he was really funny.
His top, didn't he?
It's a shame 'cause he's really good, but yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It happens. Right, where should we start? I mean, should we carry on the conversation about Swindon on Saturday?
Yes, let's.
I think he's right. He needs, on paper, it should be an easy 3-0 win.
As they say, though, Wagster, football isn't played on paper, is it? Cliche alert.
But no, I mean, I don't see why we can't go there and win. As you say, they're not playing very well. We're playing really well. Even when teams are digging in against us, we're still getting results out of them. We're still finding a way to, to get at them and to get in positions to score goals. Maybe it's a bit different without having Barry because we've got that option, but Tanto's still fast. So we can still use Tanto. Maybe not quite the same role as Barry, but we can certainly use him similar to that, getting in behind the lines, playing off Wharton and stuff like that. So, and then, as I say, we've got that Irish has-been that, played shit on Saturday.
You're not going to let this go, are you?
Well, there's some people that have been saying that he's passed it and everything, and he had one of his best games. I know, fair enough, it was against Worksop, but he was absolutely immense.
He was brilliant against Salford as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant against Salford. So if he's there, isn't he? He's another option to come on because, as you say, I think he's probably one of the best passers of the ball that we've got. He's the way he's controlling his vision is still definitely there. He doesn't have to have his legs, even though he had a couple of runs where he went away from the defenders, didn't he, against Worksop? So plenty of options. We can change it about. So yeah, I think it's another win.
And we've got Aldershot coming up as well, so we can see how we go on Saturday and compare and contrast. Yeah, there's an awful lot going on at Swindon, as Rich alluded to, and I know Ian mentioned in the comments about them not being paid. They have been paid, but they weren't paid when they should have been. So they have all been paid now. But I think payday's the 27th, and they were paid by the 31st. So it's not a stable kind of happy environment. But if you talk to the fans, they're like, no, we're going to get absolutely battered, but it shouldn't be too toxic an environment. Okay, good.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's a shame to see Swindon having off the field issues. I mean, when you look at it's a conversation we've had a million times when this does happen to a proper club, because you've got so many clubs that should just by right should not really be in the Football League. You just don't see how they sustain it. Yeah, get in reses. Yeah. I've not got. Yeah, well, we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just resigning myself every week now to. Because this run, the longer the run goes, this thing has to come to an end. So just every week now, I'm like, well, this is going to be it. This is going to be it now.
I'm hoping for Bolton, largely because if it has to happen, then at least it doesn't affect the league unbeaten run. We can still cling on to that for dear life.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like the deadest of dead rubber games. So.
You should open up a raffle for the Bolton game and just
generate
a ticket, goes to the Community Foundation.
Whoever wins gets the home tie, don't they, in the next round? But
is that right? You finish top, you get the home tie.
Yeah.
So does it? Is it regional until the semi-final?
Pass that. I don't know.
I believe it's regional until the. Well, it used to be the Northern final, didn't it? It used to be Northern and Southern final. It was they were two-legged,
right.
But I think it's just a semi-final now, and then you go to the final at Wembley against whoever's got in. We all pretended to care after the Salford game. We all pretended we care about it again, but really we don't, do we? In all honesty,
no.
Wembley.
Well, I said that after. In fact, you were on with me, weren't you, Hannah? It was me, you, and Mark Rockbank, and I said it'd be nice to go to Wembley in the final of that, knowing that it doesn't matter. And then it was too raw for both of you, and both of you were like, no. Good to see you changing your tune now. Brilliant.
Well, but no, I mean, so we need to concentrate on the league, don't we? It's I'd be absolutely fine with whoever we get in the next last 16 rather. And then that be done with it. We can crack on.
We're all agreed that we want the FA Cup run to continue, though, aren't we? 90 minutes. I was absolutely furious at the weekend.
FA Cup. Why?
Just people like, oh, I want Portsmouth away. Why? I mean, we pretty much bloody have, like geographically. but just people like, oh yeah, I'd like Bristol Rovers away or Portsmouth. Why? Why? You're 90 minutes away from a possible life-changing, once-in-a-generation tie. So I mean, we know we'll get to round 3 and get who's like we'll get Plymouth away in round 3 or something like that. That'll be it. I was shocked to see. I saw obviously the Byrne family have ties with Reading. So they would have been quite happy to get Reading away. I thought, oh no, did not realise that Reading are only one place above us in the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that stuck up on me.
It's a mess. Their sales just fallen through, and
absolutely.
Yeah, they're not paying players either, are they?
No. The Price of Football podcast every week pretty much starts with Reading and Man United at the moment. Every week, we got a mention last week. It was pretty good.
He's on
as a podcast, or
no, the club. It was about financial fair play and football fortune. Have you ever heard of that? So yeah, it was about that. He was quite complimentary actually. They didn't talk about us for long, but yeah, it was a question about the National League winning, the winners of the National League, or the teams that come up, because there's no financial fair play in Tier 5. How would they do? Can they sustain that? And are they within financial fair play in the Football League? And the answer is categorically yes, because 50% of your turnover can go towards your playing staff. Plus, for every £100,
really well.
Yeah, so for every £100 that your owner puts in, you can spend another £100 on that's called the football fortune. So there's no danger whatsoever. And the W word was mentioned as well. And obviously, their sort of circular economy they've got going just lends itself to that, doesn't it? So they're going to go. They're going to go far.
It's like for
Unfortunately.
us, we're almost exempt from financial fair play because of the rules and because not that he does or we should need him to, but if he needed to, Stock could just put an injection of cash in, and any kind of financial fair play restrictions are almost null and void. So we're lucky in that respect. There are other clubs that are less able to do that. So yeah, it's a good insurance one, but you want to be sustainable on your own.
Yeah. But back to the FA Cup though.
Well, let's talk about the game on Saturday then, the workshop game. Waggy,
No, I listened to it.
Russ, were you there?
No.
No, I wasn't there. Award-winning stuff, lads. Well done. Well done. Hannah, all hands to you.
I was there. That's why we got
Hit
Hannah on.
it.
I was attending the last of the 20 stag do's and weddings that I've got to go to. So
Wow.
I'm home free now.
I'm imagining you like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers, you know, where he's like, it's wedding season, baby.
So go on, Hannah. Floor's yours.
So we won 5-1. I've got a picture of
we
Charlotte.
sort of knew that bit.
Charlotte's been doing vlogs for the podcast, and after they equalise and there's flares going, they're all jumping around, she's like, that's the best away support I've seen, because we were in the Cheadlands, so normally we're next to them, so we can't see. We were never really out of first gear. The game changed when all the subs were made. I can honestly say that I spent more time watching a lad on the front row of the Cheadland who was, let's say, high on life, and was caught like generating so much entertainment that he was just that much of a distraction. So yeah, that's Phil Lloyd. Yes, that's about as insightful as it gets. The subs made the difference. I think people have kind of laid into Nick Powell a bit. It's his first game back. It was not a great opportunity for Charlie to play people like Kyle Noyle, Nick Powell, Neil Byrne, who haven't really had any game time in quite some time because of the way that Charlie seems to choose his teams. If they're winning, they stay in. That's why Fan Hub becomes a joy for county fans, because it's just like every week, you know, all right, Barry's out, all right, but Wootton will be in. 11 out of 11. I think I got 13 out of 11 a couple of weeks ago, which I was very pleased with. But they won't have that opportunity to get the minutes in unless something changes dramatically. So I think it was a really good opportunity for that. Next Tuesday will be another good opportunity for that. So Kath knows who I'm talking about. Yes, he was wearing a grey tracksuit, and he was a character, shall we say.
I've never felt so old in my whole life. High on life. I just can't keep up with all this new slang for drugs.
I think that's like old school me being diplomatic. An old person. Like I couldn't, tell you what he was high on. So we're just going with life. and the joy of county, most probably.
Imagine thinking like FA Cup first round against a non-league team is the day to get on it, so to speak.
I know. But what I did think was I think it was like the last few minutes, Ben Taylor off of Basque had a 5-1 score predictor, and he's like, do I cash out? Like, no, there's more coming, because it really did feel like that within the space of 3 or 4 minutes. I think there was a sauce, a paddy. Yeah, it felt like there was absolutely no way it was going to finish 5-1, and it did, and he cashed out. And it's not just on me. There were other people encouraging this cashing out behavior. But yeah, the end was really, really impressive, and they kept the momentum up. And Worksop, what are they? The Northern Premier Division. They are 4th or 5th at the moment. They beat Mac last week. That's where they are, that level. They were knackered. They're like, it's just worlds apart in terms of the setup and the level of professionalism and the level of fitness. And I think Aldershot, that was the issue with them as well on Saturday against Swindon, and why Swindon managed to score 4 goals to the end was because they still had legs, whereas Aldershot at that point were just like, well, fuck it.
We're not gonna let a 7-goal lead slip.
No, but I remember someone texted me and they're like, completely ironically, the comeback's on at like 7-1, and then it was like no, really, this is actually happening. And Swindon had the reverse happen against Wrexham a good couple of months ago, where they were winning like 4 or 5 up at Wrexham, and it ended up being a 5-5 draw. So as Rich said, that defensively they have got some issues if they can't stay ahead. So, yes. And Ian Dallin is right.
Stockport said they've had the day out. Come home.
Yeah. They definitely cause trouble. I've never seen so many police cars on Hardcastle Road before a game, literally lined up the length of it, causing trouble in the marketplace at like 11 o'clock. So, but it's what it is. They thoroughly enjoyed their day by all accounts, and they won, as Ian said, 7-0 against Morpeth last night. So they bounced back, whereas Swindon did not. They beat Colchester. So I
did see someone say in one of the many Stockport-related Facebook groups that are scared to death of modern life, someone did post on there Saturday morning and say, "Oh, it's all kicking off in Wetherspoons." I was like, that might not even be football. That might just be a Wetherspoons thing.
Saturday morning in Stockport.
Any Wetherspoons around the country.
Well, I suppose that's the price you pay when you, because obviously they get what, 300-400 at home, and then they brought 1,400. So there's going to be fans of other clubs tagging along, and that's where your trouble starts, really.
Yeah, I think Sheffield. The hypothesis was that they were Sheffield Wednesday because Sheffield United had a game. But well, yeah, I'm sure they enjoyed their day out.
I know it's one of the.
It's very interesting.
So he did a vlog.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I saw that. I've noticed on the county website, when it has the information for away fans, it has the Armoury as a designated away zone when it's the complete opposite and it's not been remedied. And basically the Armoury every week are having them rocking up and so the Nelson seems to be the one, and I think they'll be trying to stop that though, with the trouble they've had last few weeks.
Yeah, Grimsby, there was trouble as well, wasn't there? But the police have started walking them up from the Nelson. But it was, I remember for the Wrexham game it said the Armoury as well. So they could do with making that change.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll be watching because I'll be at the Youth Cup game where the score is what? Is it still 2-0?
Still 2-0 as far as I'm aware. Yeah. So so FA Cup, obviously nice win. And it took me back to you remember when we played Blythe in the 90s and they rocked up and we just easily beat them 5-0. This is how it should be, isn't it? Non-league team.
No, we beat Blythe. See, this is a Mandela effect thing for me. We didn't beat Blythe 5-0. We beat Blythe 2-0 and we beat Lincoln 5-0 in the round after.
Did we not?
No, I'm sure it's 5-0 against Lincoln and Jeff Eckhart scored hat-trick. But I remember thinking at the time, oh, you think that'll be the other way around? And then I went in school and was like, you think that'll be the other way around? And people were like, shut up, you nerd.
I'm just gonna look that up while we're talking, because I'm sure Jeff Eckhart scored a hat-trick against Blythe, and it was 5-0.
I think it was Lincoln, but I'll stand corrected, said the man in the orthopedic boot.
Right. you chat away. I tell you what, let's move on to a bit more about Saturday's game, because it's quite it's the next game. It's the next most important. What do you think, sort of player wise? Do you think he's going to revert back to the strongest team and none of those that played against Worksop will feature? Maybe apart
from I hope so. I hope so.
Buttons to start. Yeah, I think it'll be the same. I think so. Yeah, and then the other lads will get the Bolton game next Tuesday again to try and play their way back in. But getting towards Christmas, we're going to start having a bit more fixture congestion now. You know, the Christmas period and stuff. So everyone is going to be needed, as we said last week. So I think fingers crossed some people actually take the opportunity in the cup game this time, because that's something that Charlie's complained about with their senior cup and the pizza tray, car, auto glass, Johnston's paint thing.
Bristol Street Motors.
That's the one. That's the one.
Street Motors, yeah. No, do you know what? Blind spot. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, 2-0. Jeff Etcart
No.
and Stephen Rattle.
You can tell I've done a podcast with Ben Walker, can't you, Ross?
Yeah, it's the knowledge is sticking with you, isn't it? It's not just going in and out like it does with me. It stays in with you, and you can recall it, can't you?
Well, everything's sticking. I only have a bath at Christmas, so.
Yeah, I tell you what. Here you go. Could you name the lineup from that game? Could you have a stab
No,
at
this
it?
is something I'm bringing in from next week. A little quiz. I can name the lineup, I reckon.
Come on then.
Well, not the whole lineup, but Neil Edwards in goal. It's like just Neil Edwards in goal. Would I be correct?
Who?
Neil Edwards.
Yeah.
Right, 2 centre backs. I'm going Mike Flynn and Matty Bound.
Nope.
Nope. Mike Flynn and Jeff Etcart. No, he didn't. Yeah, Mike Flynn and Jeff Etcart.
No.
Jeff Etcart and Matty Bound.
No. Get your number. Get your fingers out. So go 1, Neil Edwards. 2.
Was Sean Connolly there in 95, 96?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
Number 3, Lee Todd.
4.
4
My
Tom
favourite.
Bennett.
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah.
5.
Yes, he was. 5 Flinny, surely.
Yeah. 6.
Jim Gannon.
Yay. 7.
I thought you just gone really camp for a minute. Russ has got to tell us something.
7. Been on the show before.
7 been on the show before. Oh, who's been on the show? It's not Danny Lloyd.
No. That's, his
7.
son's been on the show before as well.
Oh, Chris Beaumont.
Yeah. Number 8.
Yep.
Number 8 is I don't know. I know the player,
8.
but I'm not.
Well, right. No, that's not Paul Ware then, is it?
No. Michael Oliver. No. Number 9.
Oh, Michael Oliver. Number 9, Ian Helliwell.
No.
Oh, I preemptively dabbed like a dickhead. Oh, God. What an idiot.
We've literally just spoke about him scoring a hat-trick.
Jeff Etcart, was he number 9?
Yeah. Number 9, yeah. Number 10. Because Jeff Etcart played in centre defence as well, didn't he, and stuff.
He was a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Number 10, I'm assuming, is the player I pretended to be in the playground. In a sea of Kinchelskises and Kincladses and Cantonars, I was Alan Armstrong.
Yes. And then finally, number 11.
Martin Chalk.
Oh, he was on the bench.
Oh, shit house. Fraud. God, who's 11 then?
John Jeffers.
Oh, John Jeffers, JJ.
There we go.
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good little quiz, that. We should do more of that.
I think we should do that every week. I'll just pull one out to
well, I've got one ready for next week. I've got one ready for next week. I was going to put you against Waggy, so.
All right, yeah, let's do that. That'll be a good little
Don't think
feature.
I'm not working behind the scenes, mate. Don't think things aren't going on in this whole head of mine.
Yeah. I've forgotten more than I can remember.
Well, you are old, aren't you? So it's older than he
No,
looks.
he's a silly little boy. He was told on Twitter he's a silly little boy.
Silly little boy.
He's a silly little boy.
Yeah. Right, let's go for a break. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about squad depth and getting reses. How about that?
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And for the audio podcast, please rate, review, and recommend us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Cheers, thank you.
Okay, so we've just before we skittered away and did that guess the lineup for the Blythe at home, we spoke about changes that are going to be made for Saturday's game. And while we were chatting in the week on WhatsApp, as we do pretty much daily, Waggy dug out the squad depth image that Simon Wilson had spoken about. So was this on the was it training something? What was it? What was
it? Was some coaching seminar, wasn't it, back in March?
Training guru, was it? I think.
Yeah, and he talked about the 4 levels of player, building up to peak ones, and then that. But then he also said that there was 20 positions that they've got the plan for, to have a player in who can play in each of those positions that they've designated, and that means that we can basically play any system. That's the way he said it.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, I was silly little boy that likes his stats and stuff, and decided that, well, let's have a look at our squad and see where we're at with it. So,
does she follow you, Waggy?
I hope not.
Does she follow you on Twitter?
I've seen some weirdo outside for a bit, but I'm not sure if that's the same one. I'm not in Bradford, so I'm all right.
But yeah, I very much enjoyed it because this is exactly what I do on Football Manager. So
yeah, this is great, isn't it?
And you laughed at me the other week when I got my notepad out. You called me a sad little boy. So who's laughing now?
So for those watching on YouTube, obviously you can see this, but for those on the audio podcast, we're just showing a picture now of that squad depth. And I mean, the first question is, can you see? Stupid question, really. Can you see any weaknesses in that? Yeah, I've been asked on numerous occasions on different podcasts, opposition podcasts and things like that. Where if we had a weakness, where would it be, and where do we need to buy for in January?
I mean, at the minute, you'd say obviously replacement for Barry, and then possibly some on the left, but we've got players like Hippo can play as a wing back. We've got Torre still there, and then left attack we've got Bailey that's been stepping in. So it is a very, very strong squad, isn't it? And obviously I've doubled up with some of the players as well.
We've got obviously we seem to have gone away from playing with wing backs now. So in terms of left back, you're talking Torre and Pai. You'd imagine Pai will once Torre's back, Pai will be slotting in at centre back alongside. Move Horsfall back onto the right at centre back, Pai on the left, and then but we're going to be losing Torre for a few weeks in January for the AFCON, which leaves a massive gap there, given Rydell's out for the rest of the season. I don't think, as much as Hippolyte can fill in at wing back, I think left back's a different proposition.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more defending to do. I'd rather have Hippolyte, as he is on the graphic we've got, rotating with Bailey, offering a similar thing that he does in midfield. So I'd say it's crucial that we get, whether we go for a left back on loan, or if we recruit with one eye on next season and go for a big signing. But then again, Torre was the big signing last summer in that position. But Rydell's contract is also up in the summer, so it'd be interesting to see what happens there, given he's going to be out injured. I'd be very sad if he left, I think. But again, will Rydell fit in as a traditional left back as opposed to a left wing back?
I think so, because if you look, he's very, very similar to Southam Hales, isn't he, on the other side? So Southam Hales has slotted into right back, and then it's a case of, will he put Noyle as left back? Because he's done that for the last.
I was thinking games, with the number 2 on there, please. I don't ask much. I don't like. I don't like a right-footed left back and vice versa. I'm not a fan. I think it's, if you're playing against opposition that do their homework, it can be quite easy to nullify them. It's not for me that. But if Rydell does what Southern Hales has done and bulks up, then I see no reason why he can't play left back. But that's definitely where I'd be recruiting.
What about Claire mentioning? It's a good point, actually. I know, sorry, Hannah, it covers your face and I'll get rid of it in a second. But
It's all right. I was pulling a face, so it's fine. It's probably best.
There's a Joe Lewis fan club down there.
I reckon we should be looking to bring Joe Lewis back in January. I think that's a good shout, you know. Especially with
his thing that's
yeah.
It looked like silly recruitment when we signed him because he's got no experience of playing in a back three and looked pretty poor when he did play. A lot of it down to him being young and playing at a higher level than he had previously as well. But yeah, in a back four, you'd think that'd be his thing. And before anyone says, "Oh, he scored an own goal the other week," just go and look at it. That was not his fault.
But did he not score on Saturday? Did he not score a goal on Saturday?
I don't get interested in the FA Cup until the big teams come in, Waggy. You know, your Man United, your Man Cities, your Arsenals, your Tottenhams, that sort of thing. Speaking of Tottenham, if we get them in round 3, as I've predicted, we're going to have so much fun against their high line. Because that was hilarious on Monday night. Oh, you weren't there. You were hobnobbing with the great and the good, but it was genuinely down to 9 men, and their defensive line was on that. Their defensive line, made up of 2 defensive midfielders at centre back, was on the halfway line. It was just like playing FIFA against a child.
Was that 11 men each though before the sending off?
Oh no, that was
right.
9 against 11.
No.
9 against 11 after Maddison and Van der Ven had both gone off injured as well. It was just. I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Crazy. It was just chaos, wasn't it?
Absolutely joyous. I love it.
Back to this squad depth then. It doesn't tell the full story, this, does it? Because it's got Barry as the penetrator, shall we say? That's what it says on there. I've not made that up.
I'm not mature enough to handle words like that. Come on.
That's straight off Wilson's graphic. So
Yeah.
So obviously Barry before his injury was playing more on this graphic in that sort of left attacker, right attacker role, wasn't he? And Alafi was more up further up. What I do like about the graphic though, and you'll have noticed this, Nick, is the numbers are proper, aren't they? The 1 to 11s, they're about right, aren't they? 7 on the right,
I will.
On the left, 4 and 8 in the middle.
I will accept a right-footed 7 on the left and vice versa. I will accept that.
You like the inside forward?
What can I say? I love an inside forward. Yeah, big fan. Yeah, but yeah, good numbers. Very. I mean, when I got sent that last night, I sorted out a couple of spelling errors and then thought, oh shit, have I sorted out the numbers? And then I've just realised I didn't correct the spelling of the word versatile. But it's been a long week. It's been a long week dealing with this.
With the squad depth that we've got at the moment, when Nicholas and I were talking statistics, was it last week? Only last week, Nick. Like one of the charts looks at the different formations and then how that affects like goals and XG and pass accuracy and all of that. And so between 4-1-3-2 and 4-3-1-2, there's not that much difference. And then 3-5-2, which is what we played against Salford, then there's a massive shift, and it just shows the kind of the flexibility in that depth that we've got, that people can move around and we can play completely differently. And Nick's good old PPDA stat is completely different. So for a 4-3-1-2, it's like 7.49, but for the 3-5-2, it's 13. Lower is better. Again, just shows that kind of the flexibility in formation, but also how that then impacts the tactics that they're using and how quickly they shut down those defensive attacks. It's so interesting.
It is though, isn't it? I mean, even when you play 4 at the back, it releases somebody else, doesn't it, to be part of that hunting in packs and getting forward and that trigger press. So that kind of stands to reason. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I go for all of that. Really do.
I do now. Look at me look at me just talking to women about stats. So progressive. this is what I do in my off time.
He's such an ally, Nick. It's lovely.
Yeah, I tell you. I know gays and everything. It's mental. At least 6 of them. Well, 7 now that Russ has come out. I have to find a way to get that ghost impression into the episode title clip somehow.
You can. Someone
It
said
was
above. Someone liked it above somewhere. Can't remember.
Yeah, it's Jonathan the Geordie Hatter, who is back on Saturday morning with his fantastic away day show.
Like it.
That was perfect segue.
What can I say? What can I say? Well, nothing else. I've got nothing left. That's it.
Got nothing left. So that's the squad depth. I think we can all agree that the squad depth is pretty good. There's maybe 1, possibly 2 that we need to. That's just because of injuries, isn't it? And the loans that have gone out that are kind of developed into a different situation. So yeah, looking good. And I'm the same as you, Nick. I always get our run's got to come to an end at some point. But like I said last week, and I get nervous, and as soon as we start playing, I just think all the nerves go out of me because you can see how good they are. You can see how good they are.
Second goal for me. I'm never ever happy at 1-0 up. I've seen far too many 2-1 losses after going up, 20 minutes into the first half. But it's always the second goal that settles me, and I'm like, right, we'll just have a third. Yeah.
3-0 is the ideal lead, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Wrexham, when like at 4-0, someone said to me, "You okay now?" I was like, "No, I know what happened against Swindon." Like,
yeah.
It's weird. The Wrexham game was weird, wasn't it? Because at 3-0, I cheered. I was all over the place. I thought 3-0. Surely they can't come back from that. But even as we got into half time, I'm thinking we've got to shore up for the first 15 minutes of the second half. Because if they get one, I know we got one in the end, which was good, and that did put the game to bed. But if they'd have got one, I thought it'd have been game on, even at 3-1 up. But
yeah.
What's the most comfortable you've ever felt with a county lead at an away game, Russ?
When we were battering Sheffield United, probably. And we beat them 5-2 away.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Hartlepool.
When they scored, we cheered.
Yeah. Hartlepool's a good shout. Nuneaton as well. As soon as we went, even against Nuneaton, I was like, I'll go and get a pint now, and then spent the whole second half queuing for it.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember there was a game as well when we played Chesterfield away. I think Ricky Lambert got our third. And I just remember it being like dead easy. It just felt easy. The old Saltergate. That was probably another one as well.
Oh, there was a chant on Saturday. "Ah, you Wrexham! Ah, you Wrexham! Ah, you Wrexham, guys!" And then someone was like, "No, they're better than Wrexham because Wrexham actually scored." That made me laugh.
Excellent. I'd heard the Worksop fans were wheeled out the Stockport's a shit up. No, save it. I'm going to save it for Rezzers.
Right. Well, we're at that time of the show. Should we do get 8 Rezzers, and I'll have to think of one really quickly.
Do it. Play the jingle.
Rezzers. Get in the Rezzers. Get in the Rezzers.
I'm not having that.
Get in the Rezzers.
Oh, get 8 Rezzers.
I will never feel comfortable with that jingle.
It's weird, isn't it?
Probably think I'm least proud of in my life, and that's saying something.
Well, you didn't make it, did you? So you can get off with that one. I'll take the blame for that.
I'm on it. I'm on it though, aren't I? I'm complicit with complicit in my input. Yes, fans of non-league Village Team X going to having the big away cup game at Football League Club Y and singing "Town Y is a shithole, I want to go home." If that's all you've got on your big day out, what's the point? And it's not a shithole. The amount of away fans who come back from Stockport and go, "Yeah, well, the ground's nice, but the town centre's a shithole," and then you find out they've only been on Castle Street.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the town centre. The town centre is a shithole as well.
I was just
Go
going
to
to say
the
that, mate.
market.
Like,
Go to the market.
Mersey Way. Like,
Yeah. Well, I was violently sick in the middle of Mersey Way on Monday afternoon. I thought I'd soldier on and go and get myself a tie for the awards, and just I took a bad turn, and then just fully and £15 worth of improvements. So well done me. Have that, town planners.
Are you better now, though? You look better. Feeling better.
It's being with you lot. That's it. And a little bit knowing that you two didn't get all the glory for winning the award.
Oh.
That would have killed me. That bloody new kid on the block, Waggy over here.
Yeah, rocks up and wins the award.
It's like when Arctic Monkeys were picking up awards for the first album, and the original bassist had already left, and the new bassist was just stood there on the stage at the Brits, like it's a bit awkward.
So someone once picked an award up for me and then put it all over his own Facebook, and I wasn't friends with him on Facebook, and someone said to me, "Oh, did you know that Paul's like," and people are saying, "Congratulations, Paul." Why?
Yeah. I was following it on Twitter. I was following the. And then my mates Emma and Dave texted me and said, "Oh, when's your award?" I was like, "Well, it's getting towards 11 o'clock now, so it must be any minute now, surely." And then they did the Unsung Hero Award, and then what followed was like a 44-minute wait for the next award, and I was just sort of like, "Must be having the puddings."
Yeah, dessert.
Yeah,
That was
there was
dessert.
the Mary Earp one, and then it stopped for ages.
Yeah.
Maybe she had to get off. Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I didn't get to meet Mary Earps.
Waggy
She on
did.
Dublin last
I
year.
did.
Cool.
Did you?
Got a picture with her.
Oh, Waggy, I'm so jealous.
Oh. Did you tell her you're a founding member of the Scarf Award podcast?
She's my niece's favourite player as well. So I sent it to my sister, and she showed it in the morning, Tuesday morning, and she was going absolutely mental to the point that she wants it printed out and put on a wall.
Nice. That's brilliant.
Oh. With you cut out, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Just an outline cut out. Just a unicorn or something put in instead.
Yeah.
Oh,
The kids going near the fire at least, won't it?
Like
Yeah.
Chloe Kelly's been proposed on it.
Waggy, have you got to get in res? Is this?
I think Chris Eaton has stolen my thunder. I was basically going to say people moaning about fan numbers and stuff. Basically going on, everyone moaning up, building up that they were going to have more fans than us. We weren't going to have loads of fans and stuff. And it was like, what? I mean, does it really matter? It's the first round of the FA Cup. It's their big day out. But in the end, there was
Christmas.
4,000 of us. So people moaning about that. That's another one that can get in the reses.
Nice. I think that's your first football-related get in the res, isn't it?
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
It goes from one award ceremony and just
I know.
changes.
Oh, yeah. Trying to get
You're not
professional
going next
so we
year,
can win it next year.
Someone should.
Yeah.
I know. Have you got to get in the
Goal
res?
of the game.
I have, but I'm not sure whether it's an unpopular opinion, and it's not a funny one either. So,
Oh.
all right, I've got a thing about Mr. Challoner in his post-match interviews, like pinpointing specific players. So the whole thing with, although it was funny, about Tanto and Louis and the under-12s football comments, like they should know. It's his job to tell them he's taking the penalty. If they don't know, then that's down to their communication. And if they've deliberately ignored that instruction, then that's on them. But haul them into your office on Monday rather than airing your dirty laundry in public. It just feels like, and I know things have moved on, and I know that we are obviously on a very, very good run, but earlier in the season, it felt like it was a bit of a deflection away from kind of him taking any responsibility for it and pushing it back onto the players. And I think, don't know, from a leadership management point of view, it's not the way to build a strong team, whether that's a corporate team or a football team. So that's mine. I've wanted to get it off my chest for ages. I feel loads better. Thanks.
I don't think I've watched a manager interview since Steve Rusk. I got that annoyed by his that I'm still scarred. So I just go on the boards and wait until people report what's been said. And even though I know Dave isn't going to show himself up like that, Dave's not going to sit there going, "Oh well, it is what it is, really."
It is what it is, yeah.
Hashtag we go again.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because on that very interview, Hannah, he did say, didn't he, that I think his words were, "Perhaps the buck stops with me," or something to that effect.
Oh, wow. Did he? See, I didn't see that.
He did.
Holiday.
But he still said what he said, in terms of it was under 12 or whatever he said. So, yeah, no, it's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, they can all get in the reses, I think. Mine's a dead easy one. Award ceremonies. But it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, award ceremonies. We've been there twice now, and they are good. It's a bit disappointing when you don't win, and I think I was more disappointed last year where we didn't win than this and the City Extra Lads one, which is fair enough. Their reach is a lot more than ours. I think City Extras is 700,000, and the Red Men is 650, and that's their full-time job. And we spoke to them a lot about that, didn't we, Waggy?
Yeah.
But
Redmen have got 4 permanent people working full time, so 5 permanent, and they've got 4 like part time that do some of the visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Did they give you a lift home, Waggy?
What?
Did you get a lift home off them?
Yeah. No, they did one early. We went to the after party.
Oh, did you?
The after party, though.
You didn't take me to the after party last year.
It was, well, all right. They told us it was the after party. It was back to the bar that we started in.
Yeah, right. And then this photographer came up and she's going, could we get a picture? I'm like, yeah, go on then. She went, well, can you just like put your hands in the air, pretend it's busy and you're having a good time? It's like, not joking.
Yeah, I think there was us 4, and I think there was like another 4 people scattered about, wasn't there? At that
in
time?
the after party. Yeah. But what they did say as well, what the lads did say, because they go to the Football Content Awards, and this is the real reason why I'm putting it in the reses, really, is because these award ceremonies, it might be strange to say, but they're just made up, aren't they? Like the Football Content Awards, they said, yeah, they've been a few times. The Northwest Football Awards is a bit more prestige and it means more. The Football Content Awards, it's just a made up thing. So it's like they make it look dead glitzy and glamoury, but it's not. This is what they were saying.
So that's the one that's at Anfield this year, isn't it?
Year,
and I think they also it's all put together by Snack Media, who are a distributor of football content. So they've got a vested interest in it, and it's effectively promoting, because in the past I've worked with Snack, and it's always an option, but it's promotion for them. It's like it's massive advertorial essentially. So yeah.
I'm gonna do something I've never done on this podcast and reveal my deepest, darkest insecurities here and how my mind works. So I genuinely thought we were going to win, because they spend, as we've mentioned before, the fan podcast side of it is just an afterthought. They stick you off in the corner. Did you say hello to Rowetta for me, by the way? I bet you didn't.
Oh, she wasn't there, so we couldn't
see her.
Well, I wasn't there, so of course she wasn't. She probably thought, well, I'm not bloody going then. It's an afterthought. They stick it at the end after the puddings when everyone's like starting to all the people who've won the awards and all the journalists
they've gone
left. It's all backslapping and what have you for the big clubs, Erling Haaland and Pep and what have you winning awards. And last year when the Oldham lads beat us and City Extra, I thought, oh, this will be the bit where they throw some crumbs to fans of the smaller clubs. So I genuinely got it in my head that's why I was so livid to be missing it. So I was like, I'm going to go on Twitter and there's going to be a picture of Russ and Waggy with that trophy, like they've worked towards it or something. Like, and I'm going to be what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get my suit on tomorrow and go around to Russ's house and have some pictures with it, like I was there. And I had so many poses ready that I knew exactly what Instagram pictures I was going to put up of like me with the trophy. We were going to have one, Russ, where we were holding it either side and we were both kissing it. It was going to be glorious. And
do you know what I've got, Nick? Right, for reasons that we won't go into, I've got a Salford Goal of the Month trophy. If you'd like, you can, take it and do all your poses with it. Yeah,
just hide the badge.
Yeah, you can just put your hand over it. It's fine.
You don't just print a sticker off and put a county sticker.
Yeah,
on it.
It's pretty much just for the Tinder profile. I'll be quite honest.
Yeah,
that's about it. Yeah.
I mean, it prompts some questions.
Not as many questions as but I genuinely got it into my head. I was like, "This is gonna be," especially when they phoned you at the end of last week. Russ said, "You're definitely coming, aren't you? You are definitely coming." Because I imagine when they were phoning you, the grave was hovering like, "Well, they're coming or not." And
Has he gone to Swindon?
Yeah, that's peculiar, isn't it? It's that dodgy BPN he's got.
Well, we go again anyway, lads. We go again.
We go again. Yeah, hashtag we go again next year. Yes.
Here's what it is.
There we go. We go again. So that's my getting the reses. Right, cool. That was good. Yeah, I think probably think about wrapping it up.
Yeah. Or just wrap it up. Don't think about it. Do it.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Hannah, thank you very much for coming on. I know you've got a busy schedule and all the many podcasts that you go on.
I'm doing Poultry on Friday, so that'll just be a bundle of laughs, won't it? With their internet.
Waggy, cheers as ever.
Cheers, thank you.
Is anybody going to Swindon on Saturday, by the way, just before we go?
No, I'm off to Mozambique to watch.
Nice.
I think I might be in Mozambique as well.
Are you going to be in Mozambique? Well, you're going. I might see you there.
I'm
going. Share a snowball.
Might have another one in a minute. Treat myself.
Yeah, you do that. Right.
I will.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please do like and subscribe, rate and review on whatever podcast player you are listening to us. Don't forget, you can get extra content on our Patreon. We've got nearly 60 patrons now, which is brilliant, isn't it? So they get that extra content. Dave Smith Never Existed is on there. There's a latest show that you did, Nick, with Ben on the squad numbers. The answer to the question that we asked in the chat earlier, what's Harry Johnson's record? Claire got it right straight away, Claire Jeffs, but she should have known better because she's a podcaster. She should let other people have a go.
And she's in a group chat where I mentioned it about 3 hours ago.
Exactly. Claire, you're getting minus points for that. Yeah, exactly. It was he. Do you want to say it, Nick? Do you want to say it? Because it's your stat, pretty much.
That's Ben's stat, but I mean, it's all our stats. It belongs to all.
It belongs to Stockport County, doesn't it?
Belongs to the county nation. To quote the wonderful Geordie Hatter, it is Harry Johnson has the honour of wearing the highest ever squad number by a Stockport County player in a competitive game, which was number 53 in the LDV Johnston's Autoglass Pizza Trophy Bristol Street Motors doings against Salford.
Excellent.
There we go. And he also has a name that sounds like it'd be like one of those Cockney actors that pops up in everything. Like it was in the remake of The Sweeney. He's in Scum. He's in Quadrophenia. He's in Riding a Foot Soldier 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Harry Johnson, mate. Australian. I just pretended to Ange Postecoglou for a minute then.
Right, and with that, I'll say good night and see everybody next week. Cheers, everybody. Bye now.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. This episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to all the W's, scarfbagarawar.co.uk.